We getting over this hump together. That's me, Evangelist Angie B, Amazon International #1 best-selling author, mother, daughter, sister, friend to some, entrepreneur. Angie B is a mental health advocate, a motivational speaker, an ambassador for alopecia awareness, and media personality. Hello, everyone. I am the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie B, and I'm honored to be here with you, a domestic violence survivor. She has endured physical and mental trauma and shares her testimonies around the world. Recently named by Contessa's Court, Women in Business 2023, we've been over some humps. And we getting over this hump together. Let's get it started. Hey everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It's me, the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie B, and my special in-studio guest. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my special in-studio guest is here, and we have plenty of humps to discuss tonight. Welcome to We Getting Over This Hump Together. Together. With two or more gathered, he is in the midst. And so we always save a spot for him. He's, right there over my shoulder. But there are so many people that have problems, issues, humps that they're trying to get over. And they think, I'm the only one. But we are here to share some of those humps and be like, oh no, baby, you ain't the only one. We either been through it or we know somebody.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
tonight we just want to talk about what do you do when enough is enough, when you just you know that you're done, whether it's with a job or a relationship or
carrying all this weight, literally,
right?
Carrying somebody's weight.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sensitive subject because it's different for everybody. But to quote that great philosopher R. Kelly, when a woman's fed up.
Oh, geez. Hang on.
When a woman's fed up,
Dad probably
ain't nothing you can do about it.
You go Google it while we think. Oh my God. So, y'all, we're gonna have a good show tonight. Call your friends and family, send out your text messages and your tweets, and tell them that we are on the air with a really good topic. First, let me get my shout outs out of the way.
That is by R. Kelly here.
Oh Lord, when a woman's fed up. Okay. Yeah. Well, we don't have the rights to play that music.
Yeah, we
and
he ain't have the right to even sing about it. Because,
he ain't a woman.
And not only that, he don't understand the word no.
Oh, yeah.
For you to talk about a woman being fed up.
Shout out to DJ Shaheem for our background tracks. Thank you, Shaheem. Thank you. I appreciate you. I truly do.
We hope everyone had a great holiday, and we are now on the second day of Kwanzaa.
Oh,
for those who practice.
Okay.
I can't even tell you what the second day is. I apologize.
We're still learning.
Better with that. We are still learning. Yes.
We're gonna learn and teach the next generation so that they'll get it right.
That's right.
I know you got to eat something, and I know you got to light some candles, and I know you got to accept the principles.
Yeah, it's the principles that I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see what it is today.
Okay, because we don't need to be talking about no more R. Kelly. What kind of decisions are you trying to make to determine if you're finished with something. Now, back in the day, everybody I knew wanted to quit their job and go into ministry full time, or they wanted to quit their job and start a business full time. Okay, that was like the thing to do. And I remember looking at Luke chapter 14, verse 28, which basically said, if you about to do something, did you sit down and calculate or budget and see if you had enough to do that? Did you have, I think the financial advisor said have 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses saved up in an account, or be sure you have your health insurance and life insurance options, because you won't have that once the job ends. Or, do you sit down and calculate the cost? How is I going to do this? Now, I know the pandemic expedited things greatly for people because they didn't have a job. So a lot of their dreams were fulfilled. They had to hurry up and figure out something to do, right?
Yes, they did. But that also, when things ended, there are so many people who realized they could do it on their own without having to have that crutch. I have a friend, a longtime friend, who had several businesses, and his most recent business is party rental equipment. And for the first year of the business, he worked another job where he was delivering things and just hated it, hated the job. And then finally during the pandemic, he realized that he could do it on his own and he didn't need that crutch. So that really opened the door for him. And also, I don't believe in coincidences, but definitely the second principle of Kwanzaa, which is called Nguzo Saba.
Yes, Nguzo Saba. Yes.
And it says on Google that this expresses itself as both commitment and practice. It demands that we as an African people define, defend, and develop ourselves instead of allowing or encouraging others to do this.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect topic for the second day of Kwanzaa.
Yes. Good job. Good job. Let the Lord use you. Good job. Good job. So yeah, you're probably looking at, okay, it's the first of the year and I want to join a gym. Okay, did you sit down and calculate the cost of the expense? I know so many people who have said they joined and then 6 months later they realized how much money had been coming out, but they didn't plan to get in the gym. They didn't plan for the aerobics or the fitness. Did you sit down and calculate the cost? How much it's going to cost you and what day you can go? Ain't nobody going to the gym before they go to work.
That's right.
And ain't nobody going to the gym after they get off a long shift.
Right.
So if you only going to exercise Saturday, Sunday after church, calculate that. Be real with yourself. 2 days out of 7.
Well, I mean, but there are no pay-as-you-go gyms, are there?
Nah. Calculate the cost. Could be, because 2 days out of 7 is better than making payments for 6 months and never got in there.
I just think that when you talk about expenses as well, you have to live within your means. I mean, I'm a simple person in terms of like just loving the simplicity of things. And like my tattoo, for example, it just talks about the different things that I believe in. But this was a very expensive tattoo. As you see, it's very big. It was quite painful.
It says more than James chapter 2, 14 through 26. I am beautiful. I am more than. I am a mother. Are my glasses on?
Yeah.
I am.
I know. It's what, 3 years old.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just, look, even her toenails are painted. But that scripture, of course, is talking about faith without works being dead. That's what the James is. And so many people are often like, is that your boyfriend's name, James? No, it's a Bible verse. But anyway, the commitment of having something etched into your skin can often be seen as something that one doesn't want to do. I know that there have been times in my life, in my younger years, that I always said I would never have a tattoo. However, it came a time in my life when I turned 50 and I decided that I wanted not only a tattoo, but something unique and that was also inspirational. And that's what my tattoo was about. But though it was purchased for me as a gift, there were things that I had to consider in terms of the expense of it. And I think that sometimes people just like the idea of something. Hey, I want a BMW. But they don't think about the fact
the repair.
Yeah, the repair.
The premium gasoline.
Right. The insurance.
Oh my God.
The small things that we don't always prepare for, because in our mind it sounds like a great idea, but then as things go on, as things go on, it's like, hey, that's not exactly a great idea.
Sure ain't. Okay, well, we do have some great ideas that are coming up. Let me introduce you to a couple of things that we want you to get. We'll be back in just a minute.
Did you grow up in a church that offered testimony time? It was generally a 30-minute session before service began where congregants could stand up and share something good that happened to them during the past week. Well, this audiobook is all about testimonies, medical survival stories, car accidents, a lack of faith, and more. Stories from people just like you that found themselves wondering, am I going to die? I thought I was dead. Stories of survival that will inspire, transcend, and encourage your mind. An audiobook anthology compiled by evangelist Angie B. Produced by Angie B. and Barty Productions. Coming soon. If you or someone you know needs help coping with depression, anxiety, or PTSD, overcoming low self-esteem, or managing major life transitions, we invite you to schedule a free consultation call for telehealth clients. Shekinah Downs, licensed clinical social worker, is now accepting new telehealth clients. Schedule a free consultation by calling 386-385-4483. That's 386-385-4483. 50 to 60-minute individual therapy sessions and a variety of insurance plans are accepted. Couples therapy and coaching is coming soon. We invite you to log on to cjaqis.com. Schedule a free consultation by calling 386-385-4483. That's 386-385-4483. A nurse's serenity prayer. As I care for my patients today, be there with me, O Lord, I pray. Make my words kind, it means so much. And in my hands, place your healing touch. Let your love shine through in all that I do, so those who are in need may hear you, feel you, and see you in me. Author unknown.
It's us, not making a mess. I just got stuff falling down everywhere. It's a shame. I got a library and it's just stuff just falling over. So we had a slight issue with Atlas the Wonder Dog, my emotional support, what's the other word? Service puppy here in Studio B. Atlas is determined he wants to be on the show. You'll hear him back there. But his daddy has made a barrier for him and he must stay. So what happens when we have a life barrier? We got a job we got to go to. We in a marriage that we promised God. We got children that we know we're supposed to raise, but they wavered and getting on our nerves. How do we know when it's time? How do we know when it's time, when that time is over?
I mean, I do agree that for the most part, we stay in situations longer than we should. For whatever the reason is, the comforts or the financial aspect, mostly is comfort. You might stay in a marriage because you feel like,
oh, I done put in so much time.
Right. And
it's my third time around. I'm supposed to get it right.
Right. Especially when you talk about investments of any sort, time or, oh, well, I'm about to be the vice president at my job and then I'll get, a $2 raise. I deserve that $2 raise. However, you could go somewhere where you're really happy and they offer you $5 more than what you're making already. So I think it just really comes down to when you have realized enough is enough.
I like the scripture, the King James Version. I especially like it. James 1:4. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. I'm gonna go on record to say that I think ye back then was like, him and her or they. It didn't really matter. It was all encompassing.
It was interchangeable.
I think so. I think, but I do like let patience have her perfect work. The scripture didn't say ye perfect work. It said her.
And patience is the only virtue I know. Virtuous woman, virtue,
yes,
patience.
Yes. So I don't know that men, the testosterone equates to patience.
Definitely not.
Unless it's pointed out to them, not initially.
Right.
But I think, like somebody I know once said, if she's worth it, you'll do what it takes. And I think that comes from patience.
Right. Because we as nurturers, nurturing requires patience. You can't be a nurturer without patience. And there are several men that I know that don't realize the power that they have in even just the words that they say.
Unfortunately, I think several of us know somebody like that. I want to thank those of you that are watching us on the We Getting Over This Hump Facebook page. We are broadcasting live tonight on Facebook. Just search for Angie B Productions. And this is a treat for our morning show audience. We're streaming on Mornings with the Queen Bee, the show page today. So those that join us from 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in that group, they're able to see us. Well, in the morning, they'll be able to see us. And when you're watching the replay, be sure you type in #replay in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. Cuba or Australia or
Africa,
Southfield, Michigan. Oak Park, Michigan. We're also streaming on X.
How random.
X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Just search for Angie B Tour, ANGIEBEE Tour. And we are also live right now on YouTube, live with Evangelist Angie B. So we thank you for watching us on our various assorted pages. Platforms. I want to share this scripture that is not really on topic, but it is. We're talking about how do you know when you're done, when you're finished. And I strive to live by Psalm chapter 46, verse 10. He says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." Sometimes if we can be still and know that he is God, this decision-making process is so much easier.
It is. And as much as we'd like to think, oh, well, I made that decision. The word also says, lean not to your own understanding. And I do think that there are no coincidences. And when the time is right, the time is right. Especially when you talk about relationships. I have a couple of nieces that never thought they would get married. And now they both have their soul mates. And I just thank God for that, because
now they think they'll never have children.
Right. So I know that's coming too. That's right. And one specifically
no pressure.
Right. One specifically thought that she would never leave an apartment. I mean, why not? You can call maintenance to come and do. And now I know that they both want a house. So yeah, it's
I know one that never wanted a dog. And hi, Atlas. Oh Lord, I wish you could see him. He's just looking at us like, why won't you let me in the studio? Why won't I know y'all in there doing something? I know. But I am very grateful for both of those scriptures, to be still and know that he is God, and Proverbs 4 verse 5 through 9. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not. I love it when the scripture says her. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. But wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. With all that other stuff, you get understanding. Wisdom. It goes back to what we first talked about. You want to leave your job and do full-time ministry, or you want to leave your job and start a career, or you just want to stay home and have babies while your husband or the fella you with goes out and works. That was a deep conversation I had today with somebody. And did you calculate the cost? This woman was talking about how her son, you know how mothers are about their sons. Her son married a young lady, and the young lady enjoyed staying home the first year, raising the baby. And then when it was time for the baby to go to school, she decided to get pregnant with another baby. She wants to stay home and raise the children. Then she wants to complain when he's at work or when he's downloading, his video games. But then she wants to complain that they can't do the things that she wants to do, because I'll calculate the cost.
Right.
Look at it. And like you said, there's no coincidence.
Right.
No coincidence.
And I think about that song by CeCe Winans that says, "You don't know the cost of the alabaster box." And it's that song is very personal. I remember playing it a lot after my mom passed, and it definitely tells a very definite story of how no one knows exactly what this woman was thinking, you know, to push through a crowd of people just to get to the Lord's feet, just so that she could wash them. And I guess I wonder how many people actually sit and think. I know that I'm a forward thinker, but sometimes I'm very much a procrastinator. So even
we'll get to that next year.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, we're not going to do that right now. We're going to procrastinate on that a little bit. But even when it came to this trip, and I was offered the opportunity to come for the holiday, and
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. And I initially, the tickets were given a couple of days earlier, and then I realized it was my nephew's birthday, and everyone was going to be celebrating him. It's not like I didn't think we would have arrived from the airport, but I just had to sit and really think about weigh the pros and the cons. That's what people don't do. They don't always weigh the pros and the cons. As you know, people can complain about, oh, well, what about this, but the pros and the cons should always be weighed in every situation. I want to come back to that after our break.
The grass is not always greener on the other side. That's right. We got a break, you guys. We'll be back in just a minute.
It's time to share your story. I shall not fear. Wake up. I shall not fear. Divine Timing LP and Angie B Productions presents an anthology package like none other. I shall not fear. Become an author. Share your story. And let tomorrow's generation know what you experienced today. I shall not fear. We want to help you become an author in this anthology. Our unique package includes 3 virtual writing workshops, full editing and promotions, including social media posting and promotional videos. It's time to share your story. I shall not fear. What's unique about this anthology package is that you will also receive 1 month free as the host or co-host of your own spotlight show. Start your podcast, conduct interviews, or share what the Lord has downloaded into you. I shall not fear. Your spotlight show can also be turned into an audiobook. This is a 4-month project. Wake up. It's time to share your story. Send an email to angiebproductions@gmail.com or divinetiming.lp@gmail.com. Space is limited. I shall not fear. It's time to share your story. Please allow us to introduce you to one of the graduates of our Yup program.
Hi, I'm Sandra B. I live in Michigan. And yep, I'm an author.
Yup, Youth Entrepreneur Author Program. Our goal is to initiate literacy in students and lead them to entrepreneurship through authorship. Our mission is to identify and invite organizations to participate in this program. Students participate in virtual writing workshops where they are encouraged to write their stories and provide reviews of stories read. We ask you to support our youth. For a donation of only $50, your company or organization will be mentioned as a youth supporter in the next audiobook. Send an email to yupi'manauthor@gmail.com to provide a scholarship for a young person to participate.
Yep, I'm an author.
Proceeds are accepted and disbursed by Angie B Productions. And now these students are authors and entrepreneurs. Follow us online. Just search for Yup, I'm an Author on Facebook. Use the hashtag Yup, I'm an Author. Or call 407-914-6519. That's 407-914-6519 for more information. This program is sponsored in part by Angie B. Productions.
Yep, I'm an author.
That's my brilliant niece, Sandra B. If you think she has a resemblance to this one, yeah, I think she'll claim her.
Yes.
Sandra is the very first graduate of the YEP program. I'm so proud of her. She not only sat down and wrote a story that was published in the Confinement Chronicles, but she narrated children's stories. She is just phenomenal. She is a director's dream in terms of acting. If I have to say, Sandra, I want you to act like this, she'll give it to me. Sandra, I need you to deliver the line like that. She'll do it. But the thing that warms my heart the most about Sandra is she loves to read.
She does.
She looks for books.
She does.
She asks for books as gifts.
Well,
I got to get her I'm going to get her a library shelf, some shelves like mine so she can put her library. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud. I don't tell her enough how proud I am of her, that she reads. She has a fabulous vocabulary. Some grown-ups would be like, oh, you use that big word. Can you spell it? And she'll be like, bam. And I'm like, ooh. So
we were just talking today about how some of her classmates, because one of our favorite YouTubers said, that hurted. I said, oh my God. What? And Sandra was like, you would be so shocked at how many of my classmates use hurted. And I have to remind them, that is not a word.
Well, I am proud of Sandra. She started as an author. No, she started as a narrator, actress. She's done commercials. She's narrated audiobooks. Then she became an author, wrote stories. Remember that story she wrote about the mummy that was pregnant and went into a coma?
Yeah.
It's a Halloween story.
So
it's just so creative.
Put them on the refrigerator. I think.
So creative. I just sometimes I talk to her and I want her to know how grateful I am that she is my niece. But other times I'm just fascinated by her gifts and talents, and she truly is a jewel. So that's Sandra. Now, if you want your child to become an author, we are now accepting student enrollment for the YEP program, YEAP, Youth Entrepreneur Author Program. You can search for it on Facebook. That's where the group is. You can also send an email to yupi'manauthor@gmail.com. Let me see if I can find that. There it is right there. So if you know a student, everything is done virtually. We get online once, maybe twice a week, and we take them through a writing process, writing their bio, taking a headshot. Some people like to do outlines of their books, and other people just like to write what has been put on their heart. And so I'm excited about leading that workshop and bringing those students into the light of literacy. And speaking of literacy, there she is, the author Sandra herself. Hello. Oh, let me find the right button. Hello. You want to tell everybody about that? Wait a minute before you do that. Here you go. You deserve it, and so much more. Okay, so you want to tell us a little bit about, do you remember the story about the mummy? Okay, tell me, girl. I'm listening.
So there was a mummy that got into a car crash. while she was pregnant with 2 children.
Lord Jesus. She was driving. Never mind. Let me hush. Go ahead.
She went into a deep coma for 9 months.
What?
And when she woke up, she asked the nurse, "Where are my children?" And the nurse said, "Oh, they're both born healthy, and your brother named them for you." She was like, "Oh no, my brothers. What did he name the girl?" She was like, the nurse said, "Denise." And she was like, "Oh, well, that's actually not bad. What did she name the boy?" "The nephew."
A genius. You're a genius. My niece is a genius. I don't tell you enough how proud I am of you.
Thanks.
And I am very, I'm humbled to be able to see how you used to narrate audiobooks for us, and then you would read, and then you started writing, and you're still reading. I'm very proud. I hope I had some kind of influence on that. I know your mom has done a great job teaching you things and expanding your vocabulary, but I hope I had a little bitty part in it.
Because we're always like, then when I would narrate stuff and do audiobooks, now I start to read at the kindergartners in the school. I go down to their classroom at gym class, and I read to them.
You do? Oh, girl. Oh, where the button? Where the button? Let me push the button again. And you're in the 5th grade now?
Oh, my God.
The 3rd grade now?
Oh, my God.
The 4th grade now?
Middle school.
Oh, reading to the kindergarten. How does it feel when you're sitting there and they're all probably sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor looking at you? What are they looking up at you, or are they not paying attention? What is it?
It's a little like weird, because they're usually either they're staring at me, or they're staring at the book, or at each other and drooling.
Mm-hmm.
And
drooling?
Yeah,
well,
they'll just sit there, just be like, I'll be reading like a Dr. Seuss book, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, and they're just sitting there like,
like, I tell you what. Well, I'm excited about the fact that you're reading to the students, and I'm also excited that we're coming up again with the Fresh Book Festival. And your mom allowed you to be a guest at last year's Fresh Book Festival. You came on the screen early and you read a book. I'm trying to remember what book it was you read. But the Fresh Book Festival returns in February. And I got to convince your mom to let you come back on screen again. I think that would be really good. Fresh Book Festival, search for it on Facebook. Sandra was a guest last year, along with a bishop from Texas, a bishop from Nigeria, 2 authors from Europe, and I think one of the authors from Australia. It was international. And you represented the state of Michigan very nicely, Sandra. Very nicely. Do you have anything that you'd like for us to discuss? Like, do you know why we do this show? We do this show because people be having problems and they don't want to discuss it because they don't want to complain, or they think they're the only one. They don't get along with folks and their family, or things happen. Like tonight's topic is, how do you know when you're done with something? When you're done being friends with them, when you're done being husband, wife, boyfriend, and girlfriend, when you just done. How do you know when you're done with something or somebody, Sandra?
Okay, so
tell me.
I had this friend, we're going to call her F.
Okay, F.
Me and F are great friends.
Okay.
And then they also have this other friend. We're going to call them L.
Okay, F and L.
So F and L have been best friends longer than me and F have been friends.
Okay.
So one day, F started to get really toxic, and weird and just controlling and manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started toxic.
Oh, see what I mean? See what I mean? She know her vocabulary. Okay, so go ahead. It's okay.
And then once I started to realize that, I told Elle, and I was like, "No, they're not. They're so nice to me, though." And I was like,
"It's time."
Yeah. So we stopped. Me and F stopped being friends, and me and Elle hang out sometimes when they're not hanging out with F.
That's good. That's good. That's a good way to protect your heart, your feelings, because you got to take care of you first. Mom's not always going to be around. Auntie not always going to be around. You got to take care of you, and you got to know how to say, God, what am I supposed to do in this situation? And if God tells you, if the first thing you think of is you need to leave them alone, and God told you what to do, and you got to do it, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. That's a hard decision because, there was probably something that you liked about F in the beginning, maybe. Or you just fell into friendship because of L.
They were funny and nice in the beginning, but then they started to make jokes about unfunny stuff. Like stuff that we have problems with in society. And it wasn't really cool.
That's sad. Yeah. But you also have to remember that although you're in the 3rd grade now, they may have been in the 1st grade and just not the mature, you got to look at what you're working with, and when you're just such a, mature preteen as you are, sometimes it just, mature. Mature. Oh, how you spell it?
MATUR.
See what I tell you. But I tell you one thing, and then we'll let you go back to what you were doing. I appreciate you for coming to stop by, and I don't want to keep you. But the one thing to do, I think, is to just communicate, talk about it. Say, hey, I'm feeling some kind of way about this. Could you change that behavior, or could you not speak to me that way? Could you not look at me like that? Could you stop feeding me that food? Because I'm just, I'm done with it. I'm done. I think communication is very important. What do you think? Okay, that's good. Thank you. I love you. Don't worry, I won't kiss you for real. I know, I respect that. We want to thank Sandra B for stopping by the studio. Thank you, Sonia, for allowing Sandra to keep your seat warm for you.
It is nice and warm too.
Yeah, it's a shame that we have to sometimes divide our friendships because of whatever thoughts or feelings or, whatever may be going on. That's a shame that they couldn't work it out. So she could have been friends with F and L. But if F wasn't going to cooperate, F them.
Yeah, that's cute. I do know a little bit about that situation. Though they, I think it was really a little bit of jealousy, but but definitely she communicated well with both of them, and it's just unfortunate that the mutual party, just didn't want to rock the boat. So
we still got my kids.
Yep.
And if we see that this applies to grown-ups, they need prayer. They need a little bit of help.
But I just encourage everyone, especially considering what has gone on in recent years with getting through the pandemic and things of that nature, to remember that life is short, and when you're fed up, you're fed up. It's we many times are slaves to the dollar. And just feel like, I can't afford to do this if I leave. I can't afford to do that. I'll never forget, I purchased my home, and about 4 months later, I lost my job, and I was devastated. I just didn't know how I was going to make it, where we were going to go. It was just, but here I'm coming up on my 7th year as a homeowner, and I have done some amazing things with God's help. So,
because you sat still and you knew that He was God, and He made a way with some of your gifts and talents.
Yeah. I was just talking to some of my loved ones recently, and I happened to ask, well, what happened to your car? Because she was in her husband's car, and she said it just got to be too expensive, and it didn't make sense for us to both have a car when, for the most part, I'm somewhere stationary and the other car can be used. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of people thinking of the big picture, that there'll come a time that you can both have those vehicles again, but for the time being, you have to just tweak the situation a little bit.
And that kind of reminds me of what you said earlier, that you got to live at your means.
Yeah.
Is that what you? Yeah. And it took me a minute to. It's okay, Atlas the Wonder Dog, but you come in the morning. You're with
God.
Here he comes.
Why did you said it? It's your fault. You said CONIN.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh well, he's definitely
go to crate, Atlas.
He's definitely my wonder dog. Definitely when y'all listening to the morning show, yeah, he's right here. But I don't have the camera on, so you can't see me, and the camera going all over the place. But recently, I learned from someone. And you don't necessarily want to take advice from somebody at your same level. You want to take advice from somebody that's got a little wisdom, little knowledge, a little something.
You don't want to ask a broke man how to become rich.
Thank you. Well, somebody who I admire and status was a little more elevated said, focus on living below your means. Then you can always have savings. You can always have something else. You can always have a cushion. If they give you $100,000 mortgage, get a house for 75. Then you got equity built into the house. Because right after you move in, you're gonna need a new AC, a new garage door, a new roof. You're gonna need something, and you don't want to max that out. So when I look at, okay, where am I gonna live? Where am I gonna sleep? I don't worry about that, but I do look at, okay, if I can remain under my means, then I don't have to ask for a handout. Then I can bless somebody else with something. It don't have to be so money hungry all the time. And then I can really see how God can work through me, instead of always going to go, oh, Jesus, how are you gonna get me out of it? Well, I told you, don't spend that last dollar. I know, Jesus, but ain't no buts. So,
and sometimes it's not about the money you spend. I had a situation recently, as we have talked about on this show, where our church adopted a 2nd grade class, and it's my understanding that some of the members of my church felt like, why are we doing this for these children when we have financial problems within the church? Well, in my opinion, and this is solely my opinion, the small items that were given to these children that brought so much joy were not going to satisfy the financial aspects of the problems we were having within the church. And I know a God that will take care of those issues and still made the kids happy. So I think that sometimes we think, well, I have to open this account with $8,000 or else it's not going to be really worth anything. But I was blessed to learn from my nephew a lot about certificates of deposit and building the generational wealth that I'm trying to do for my daughter. I went on and purchased her first certificate of deposit while I've been down here.
Where my button? Where my button? Where my button? There.
That people think again about the forward thinking of not always. It's not always a matter of that instant gratification.
You don't get in your car and wait for all the traffic lights to turn green before you start driving.
Right.
You start driving. You're going to run into some red lights. You're going to slide through some yellow lights. But you don't wait for everything to be perfect. The birds don't wake up thinking, what worm is they just, the Bible tells us that. They don't worry about where they sleep, like them Canadian geese that are in the middle of the road every morning. Where they at every night?
Right.
They walking and but at night we don't see none of them.
Right.
They don't worry about what they're gonna do or where they're gonna go or what they're gonna eat. I don't know where they go. Let's go find out. Let's go for a walk. But we want to be that way, even when we're trying to decide. I've had enough of this. I've like Mama used to say, grin and bear it. I done bit my tongue till it's a nub. I've had enough. Old folks say I could do bad all by myself. The old folks tell you got a good job, got to keep it. Look to the Lord to the hills from which cometh your health and strength. Your health and strength comes from the Lord. And we just want to encourage you to keep it going. Keep it going. Keep that faith going. Keep it going. I know if you had some questions that you sent in tonight, I'm sorry if I didn't get through all of them. I really want to thank my sister for being my guest tonight. She's my baby sister and accustomed to me just telling her, do this. And I have to remember that she's grown and I need to ask her, would you please? And not just assume.
And I'm not the baby.
And I want to thank my children. I still call them my babies as well.
Miss Fran catching.
Hi, Fran. I love you.
I've got a baby sister. Lord, I'm not the baby.
That is true. I want to thank the Fab Four, my children, Jasmine and Eric, helped me out on the job today. I was trying to help out, somebody that needed some help.
Yesterday I saw Eric and he picked me up. And I don't mean in his car. I reached up to just merely give him a hug and he lifted my feet off.
Like this is somebody
oh my God.
I have not heard this one squeal like she squealed. I mean,
wow.
Even the woman at the front porch of the restaurant was like looking around like, what happened? She was giggling, man. So yes, I want to thank the two of them. Jasmine blessed us indeed and came and spent time with us yesterday.
The whole day. I woke up and the Atlas, the Wonder Dog, had busted my room, and I was like, "Hey, Atlas!" And looked up, and my niece was standing there in her little Winnie the Pooh shirt. It was great.
I'm telling you, that is a precious thing when people come and spend time with you. It's not an agenda. They don't need to be you ain't got to run around. You ain't got to cook. You ain't got to clean. You should do some of them things, but for them to just be with you, I think that's what God wants. Be still and be with me. We ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to ask me for nothing. You ain't got to give me nothing. Just be with me. And so I thank my sister for being my guest, physically and virtually.
And also, we just want to encourage you that as the year is ending and you're potentially making these New Year's resolutions, just remember that you should calmly and respectfully pray to whomever you consider a higher power and listen to what they have to say. Sometimes they'll tell you to follow the right higher power.
Shout out to the swans. One swan's in there with the black rubber gloves on, cooking up a wonderful meal. The other swan is out there, hopefully on their way home after a long day at work. And I'm grateful for that. Keep in mind that we do have a glorious sponsor. Tonight's show is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Go to that website, sleep.com, and then look up the store in Jacksonville, Florida, Durbin, Durbin.
They have the best sleep expert in the world. Her name is Angie. And I tell you, I have had some spectacular sleep since I've been here, and I also gifted myself some wonderful purple. As you can tell, I like purple. But purple sheets that are not only a beautiful color, but also extremely functional and comfortable. I just can't wait.
They stretch.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about, they're going to slip off the bed and all of that. There's nothing like getting a good night's sleep.
It's like a soft fabric. You ain't got to worry about, I got to get under these cold sheets. No, It's like a cloth. I don't know what it's made out of.
I don't know either.
Like
and you're not sweating through the night.
And if you are, it's not sticking on you.
Right.
Sleep.com. Look up the Durbin store in Jacksonville, Florida, and please tell them that you heard about them on tonight's show, because they're our sponsor this evening. Thank you so much. I do. All right, 2 Timothy. I have fought the good fight. I finished the race. I kept the faith. That may very well be where I am in my life. I feel like somebody said about me that I fought for my situation. You may have fought for your job, or fought for your marriage, or fought to hold a pregnancy. You may have fought to sustain something, and it didn't work. You're in divorce court. You're grieving with all these baby items around you that you're going to have to return. Something happened. Please keep your faith. Keep your faith. Don't blame God. Why you let this happen to me?
If you go back and think about it, he was telling you. He was telling you. But it wasn't the right time, because 10 years gives you a little more blessing than 5 years might.
Yeah. And if you really think about it, if you look at God as a parent, when your parents was whipping you into submission, or pointing your nose in the corner for timeout, or not giving you that car when you turned 16 and you knew you was just gonna get a car, I mean, that made you stronger. Like our I ain't gonna call no names, but a relative of ours just graduated. Okay, wanted a car, got a job, and then realized how much the car insurance, the registration, the car, realized and decided, I'm gonna stay on my bicycle. Count the cost.
And it's something, when Angie brought up that scripture, I was like, fought the good fight. That really sounds like you did. You know, this is something that might be said at a funeral. However, there are situations that need to die. So that you can go on to your next life, your next, the next thing that is going to make you whole.
Thank you.
So thank you. Just think about that as we go into this new year.
Yeah.
As you think about the old
time religion,
old lang syne. What be forgot. It's the first time. May old acquaintance be forgot. Sometimes we have to look and say, that's it.
I've done. I fought for it. I'm done. Time to move on. Okay, everybody. Time for us to go. Dad, Jamila, love y'all. I know you're probably going to catch the replay, y'all, somewhere tonight. Eric, thank you for the heart. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jasmine, for watching. If it is the Lord's will, we'll be back, and stay in prayer as we bring in a new aspect of our lives. Okay. Thank you, sister.
Thank you everybody. For having me.
Bye. Good night.